Welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of August 14th through to the 20th. This is going to be a week of shakeups. We have a Sun square to Uranus, which is shakeup of things. We have a new moon in Leo opposite Pluto, and we have an inconjunct later in the week. So this is going to be a week where it feels like things are switching or changing on you. You feel very insensitive as well. There's a sensitivity component here. So, and this is all happening amidst the backdrop of Venus retrograde, which is, really checking into our relationships with other people, with money, with ourself, with our own beauty and aesthetic. How do we feel about those things? And also Mercury is in shadow right now. So there is already miscommunications happening, things that were structures or things that you could rely on not working out so well. And this is just building to the actual retrograde. So this is all coming up. And I think the lesson for us all is patience and detaching from timelines that aren't yours, right? You're sort of, when you get frustrated that things aren't working as fast as you want them to, you are not trusting in the timeline of the universe or the timeliness of the universe. This week I had a problem where my bank and my Stripe, where I receive payments from my online services and readings and groups and things, we're not talking to each other. Working fine in July, all of a sudden not working fine in August. So there was no money flowing from my account to my bank. And I called the bank. They don't know what's wrong. Nothing's happening. They're not at fault. Stripe saying the bank is rejecting it. The bank saying we don't have any records of that. Miscommunication. I was on the phone with both of them at least 3 to 4 times each, also emailing correspondence, trying to get this sorted out. And then miraculously, poof, it's working again. Worked fine in July, didn't work when I was on holidays, and now working again fine. It was like, thanks, universe, for that heart attack. And I just refocused as to what I wanted. I knew the outcome was going to come my way. Of course, that's my money. I've got to find a way to get it to my account. These people are going to figure it out. And I just have to set the intention, hold the energy, and take the next right action. That was it. And was it hugely inconvenient? Yeah. And it's my money. Venus, thank you, retrograde. And the structures, nothing has changed. I don't know what happened, but the Mercury retrograde, Mercury shadow, it's not retrograde yet, is still making things dusty AF. So if you're going through things like that, patience, right? And manifestation is all about intention, taking the next right action, and embodying the emotion. I just had so much gratitude for all the people along the way that were trying to help me and sort this thing out. And it sorted itself out, which I kind of knew, which is so weird. But anyways, so we start off this week, Monday, August 14th, with a moon in a fourth quarter phase of the moon in Cancer. This is a very sensitive moon phase. Moon zodiac sign, and the phase of the moon, it's also losing light. So this is a time now where we're not going to be really energized. We don't have a lot of get up and go. I mean, it's summer here in the northern hemisphere, so a lot of people are in summer mode, taking it easy. You might just want to rest and take lots of naps. Also on this day, on Monday, August 14th, the moon is going to trine Neptune very briefly throughout the day and then oppose Pluto throughout the day as well. So this is going to make you heightened for intuition, but then also really emotional. So if you're feeling that kind of swing throughout the day, it's okay. Just take a deep breath, a good walk in nature, soaking in some water. Cancers need water, think of the crab. Just some alone time or some really cozy time in a bed is going to be really helpful on this day. Now, Tuesday, August 15th is the first major aspect of the week, and this is a Sun square to Uranus. This is shakeups. So Uranus is all about change. Uranus is in Taurus right now. Taurus is about banking, finances, natural resources, the earth, mother nature, how are you using your resources, our foundations that provide us security. And Uranus is shaking those things up right now, right? So we might even see a shakeup in banking, a run on, not a run on banks, but a dip in the stock market today. It's a volatile time. It's not a time to make big decisions with regards to investments or spending money or buying anything big, especially with Venus retrograde right now. No big purchases, especially on this day. So I would say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to have some problems there. But really, again, it's a time now of contemplation, not a time to make big decisions with purchases. I've literally said no purchases at this time, which is unfortunate because there's been a few offers come my way to take advantage of something. And I've said, I'm sorry, I can't make any decisions until September. And that's because of Mercury retrograde as well coming in afterwards. So that's for me. You get to make that choice for yourself. I would just say be very cautious with any purchases, especially big purchases that you're making this time. And please, for the love of God, don't make any big changes to your appearance during a Venus retrograde. You will look back on it with some remorse or regret. So just wait. You know what? If that's something you want to do and you're so adamant, it'll be fine. After September 4th, you'll be able to do that. No problem. So just hold on to that. So this Tuesday, August 15th, Sun square to Uranus. This is a time now where you can feel very destabilized and much will be changing in your life internally and externally. There'll be an urge for freedom and just being not able to get what you want. So this kind of frustration. And you want what you want it now. Sun in Leo, right, is a fixed fire sign. I want what I want and I want it now. So patience, flexibility, and curiosity is going to be really needed on these 3 days, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, really flowing with change, not trying to keep to a strict agenda. I know those of you who are working and have big to-do lists that you have to do, you might notice that things just kind of get shaken up. You're getting called into meetings or crisis management might be happening now. So just noticing that. Now, the sun in Leo is hot. It's hot, right? This planet is hot at this time. And Uranus rules like earthquakes and natural disasters. So we could see some, flare-ups and forest fires at this time, or some interesting natural kind of disasters happening in the news. I'm not wishing that to happen. It typically is a marker of such things. So just noticing that when you see those correlations, it's just proving the correlations of astrology, energy, and the earth. So it's definitely, my heart goes out to anyone who's living in areas that has, forest fires, flooding, earthquakes, all the things. It seems to be everywhere right now on the news, and it is a time of global warming. So we're going to notice the planet is getting hotter, and it is going to be bringing up more things for us to do. And as Saturn is in Pisces, which is a healing sign, and Neptune is going to move into Aries in a few years, there's going to be this push to get things done and change the momentum of this planet. So you're just going to notice that. And it kind of has to get bad before everyone figures we need to do something fast. So just noticing how that is playing out in the world and then noticing your attachment to it. I've noticed with a few of my clients, they're feeling really pulled into or feeling helpless, hopeless, can't do anything about it. But really, it's in our micro moments that we can affect the world, right? So even in your own healing, in your own decisions with environmental things that you're doing in your life, your recycling, your choice to not turn on the furnace or not walk instead of drive, all those little things do add up. And so we all need to know that we're part of the big, we're part of the whole, right? The macro and the micro, we're connected, as above so below. So our planet, the only thing you can control is your own life. And if you're getting caught up in the news or caught up in conspiracies or caught up in these things that are bigger than you, there's a grief there that needs to be looked at. So I often will find with my clients that are kind of getting pulled into these narratives is there's a power struggle that they've had early on in their childhood, and they feel like they're losing control in their life. They don't have control. So they start to give their power away to these theories because it makes it feel like it's so big. It's so there's a reason these things are happening. Yeah, there's a reason that these things are happening. And what we can do in our own life is all we can do, right? Unless you're in a government position or in a lobby group, or you're doing something that's helping the cause in some way. But if that's not your mission in this lifetime, you just have to work on the small moments in your life and take action where it feels right for you, right? Bring the power back to you. What can you control, and how can you live a good life that aligns with your values, Venus, and with this planet, Taurus, which is where Uranus is at. So next major aspect is Wednesday, August 16th, which is the new Leo. So this is shining a light. New moon shines a light, even though there's no moon in the sky. Is going to be shining a light on that area of our life that's about self-love, I wrote down all the self-worth, self-love, and confident in your own skin, right? Leo is about shining the light. So the sun rules Leo. And at this time, the sun sitting with the moon in Leo is going to be opposing Pluto. Pluto is about death, rebirth, and transformation. It rules generational trauma. It rules ancestral healing. It rules karma. It rules a lot of heavy things that bring about evolution. It's a good planet. It's meant to be. I'm a Scorpio rising, so I love Pluto. And Pluto is hard. It's hard because it brings up intensity, fixation, jealousy. It's all of these hard emotions, but they come up because we don't feel worthy, right? We don't feel like we belong, that we're not acknowledged, that who are we to claim these gifts and talents? That's Leo. Leo is about claiming your gifts and talents. What is your special sauce that you're bringing to this world? And how are you shining your light? The world needs you in your light, right? If you're trying to be outside yourself and global warming, environmental disasters, all that stuff, what about you shining your light and being in your highest and best? Because that's how we're going to elevate this planet. If you're not living in your highest and best, if you're not living your truth, if you're not living your soul-led purpose, everything else is external. It doesn't matter, right? So if you're living, so let's say, for me, I love helping people move through tough transitions, incorporate their grief, and really claim their gifts and talents and live it out into the world. And by doing that, I am elevating and helping this planet. And the only way I can is by living my gifts. And there are people out there that have gifts that are about technology and healing this planet and cleaning up our oceans and all the things. And when they're shining their light, they're helping the planet too, right? So we all are interconnected. So this new moon in Leo is a time to plant seeds of intention around self-worth, self-love, being confident in your own skin. Leo's energy is going to be challenged by Pluto, the planet of death, rebirth, and transformation, to really see yourself as the beautiful, gifted soul that you are, and that anything that interferes with that is a story that was told to you by an outside source, unwilling to fully receive themselves. Isn't that what ancestral trauma is? Right? You were told a narrative that wasn't actually truth, but it was what they believed to be true. It was their belief, right? And now you've internalized it. And I see it all the time, right? What spiritual people can't be rich. Well, why not? It's unethical to be wealthy. Why? What if you could use your wealth to really help more people? Money only amplifies who you are. So if you're a good person, money is going to amplify that good person, right? And you're a good person. If you're watching this, I know, because I only attract good people. So there is this feeling. And I think that's why I love talking about money trauma so much. I've had my own, and even that healing of money trauma brings wealth into the hands of good people that are making a difference in the world. More money in the hands of good people, please. Yes, please. More, please. Thank you. Right. So if you're living your gifts, can you then accept money to go with that? Venus retrograde. What's your relationship with money? That's going to be coming up now. And Pluto is retrograde in the last degrees of Capricorn. Capricorn is about the patriarchy, structures that have lasted the test of time that are no longer needed. An example of that is the founding fathers. We often hear about, especially in the news in the US, the founding fathers, right? Were they progressive? Maybe for their time, but by today's standards, not so much, right? And so they represent Capricorn, right? They are the old guard, that this was the laws that they put down. This is the way that they wanted the Constitution to work. And you know what? Lots of time has passed since then. We've learned a lot about humanity, about women being equals, that we can vote and we have a mind, and we're not such emotional creatures that we can't be independent and have our own property. There's so much that has come so far from those days. I mean, that's just one example, right? Think of Black Lives Matter movement, think of Indigenous culture and relationships and all the atrocities that happen there. There's so much that we know now about humanity and ethics that was not in the time at that time. There's just not the time. They didn't know that, right? We can't judge them because that was not their time. Now we know better. So this Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is breaking up the last remnants of that patriarchy that's kind of held us, and kind of, this is the way it is, right? That kind of, just think of all of that being broken apart. So this is not easy work, right? There's a lot of people that are clinging to those old structures of, this is the way we always did it, right? This is the way it is. And you're just saying, but don't we want it better? Don't we want better? Well, I had to go through it. Oh, great. Let's all go through that then. Or can we send love to future generations and say, no, no more, no more. We're going to change it. We're going to do things differently. And we're not going to try to hold you accountable for what was okay. That's not true. We do want to hold people accountable, but we also have to have some compassion that was the times, right? That was the times. That's what people believe to be true. And now we know better, we do better. So leaving space for people to grow and heal and allowing them to do that. That keeps coming up for me. All right, Friday, August 8th, we have lots of energy. There's a lot of moon aspects on that day that's going to have a lot of energy and motivation. So likely, of course, it's right after the new moon. So your seeds have been planted. Now is the time to take action. Friday. We always want to wait 2 or 3 days after the new moon to take action on our intentions. So more so getting clear on the planning, putting things into place but then actually taking action when the moon starts to show light, right? Because the moon's light gives us momentum, gives us energy. So Friday is going to be a great day to get lots of things done if you feel like it. If you have a big list of to do, if you want to clean out your house, if you want to really get things kind of set up for September, you might want to do that on Friday. And then Sunday, August 20th, you're not going to have a lot of energy. It's just going to be a time of chillaxing. It can feel like your energy is really diffused. So we have a sun in conjunct to Neptune. So the sun is our vitality, our energy. Think of the light giver, the energy giver for our solar system. And in conjunct is a 150-degree angle, meaning that there's a need for adjustment here between these two planets. And then Neptune is the planet of compassion, empathy, spirituality in Pisces, which is about transcendence and healing and creativity, musicality, really just being with our emotions, with our true soul self. So these two planets don't really go well together in terms of Sun and Leo. Leo Sun wants to shine bright and look at me, and I got things to do, and I've got talents, and I have self-worth. And then Neptune is like, but your soul loves you no matter what. Right? So we have these kind of, it diffuses energy is what I'm going to say. So we might not be able to see things as they are. Instead, we might fixate on what we wish they were. So this can be a day of frustration because we're not able to get going. Fire doesn't get to move forward. It's almost kind of diffusing, and it feels confused. Don't make any big decisions or any big, the word is commitments maybe on this day, because when you commit to something, you're not seeing the whole picture. You're not going to see the whole path forward. Even in this day, it might be not a great day to, well, it's never a good day to engage in gossip. And if you hear something about somebody on this day, do not trust it, or just let it have some time. So don't make any big decisions on this day. This day will bring up confusion, or we may not be able to see the path clearly for our purpose and our passion. There can be a propensity now for you or people around you to disassociate or want to escape. This is really great for meditation and breath work on this day. So you have a chance to attend a breathwork class on August 20th or around this time, it'll be a good time to release. That's also without Pluto opposite the sun and moon. So releasing during this time, doing a burning ceremony safely, depending on where you're at. There's a lot of fire bans out there, so obviously obey the law. And breath work, meditation, anything that you can do now that really brings forward your awareness to ways that you are not moving forward in your life because you're scared, or it's serving you to play small or not really be in your light. Burn that crap to the ground, because it is not a true story. That is a story you heard somewhere along the way from someone who didn't believe in themselves and sold you that story. So this is a big week. It's a week of shakeups. It's a week of ahas. It's a week that you are going to feel like your passion, your path forward is murky. That's okay, right? In manifestation, set your intention, take the next right action as it appears to you, and really trust the process and your feelings, right? You want to embody that feeling. So what amplifies abundance? Gratitude. Gratitude is a great way to do that. Also, healing. You have to heal to move forward, because otherwise you're trying to take all your crap forward to the next part of life, and the portal isn't big enough for all that crap. You gotta leave some of that luggage behind and realize and thank that luggage for everything it brought you, all the knowledge, all the safety, and you don't need it anymore. Wishing you a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you next week. Have a good one.